Number 15. Taurus Model 608, $680. On the surface, the Taurus 608 is an aesthetically pleasing revolver that offers an impressive capacity and robust construction. Designed for wheel gun aficionados who want a budget revolver with a higher than usual ammo capacity, this revolver boasts an 8-shot cylinder and is chambered in .357 Magnum, so it also accepts standard and overpressure .38 specials. With the price, you'd think it's a steal. Well, I suppose there are owners of the Taurus 608 that could say that. However, there are many others who have used the pistol and don't agree. The Taurus 608 is a little disappointing in terms of performance. It suffers from frequent malfunctions due to light primer strikes often occurring with each cylinder. It also has timing problems. Shooting this revolver can be a pain in the neck with a seemingly never-ending stream of malfunctions. Revolvers are typically known for their reliability due to their simplicity and ease of maintenance, but that does not hold true for this particular model. Light primer strikes plague the Taurus 608, very likely caused by subpar manufacturing standards and a lack of attention to the end product's quality. If you have a penchant for unreliable revolvers, then the Taurus 608 might pique your interest. However, it just leaves too much to be desired as it falls far short of meeting even the most basic expectations. Number 14. Remington RP9, $480. The Remington RP9 striker-fired pistol is a big-duty-sized pistol, but big doesn't mean unduly heavy. The polymer frame lightens what would be a chunk if it were metal alloy. The RP9 is undeniably visually appealing, boasting an aesthetic that easily surpasses that of a Glock 17. The Remington RP9 9mm Plus P striker-fired pistol is one of Remington's turning point guns. Kind of. After a significant period of quality control questions that are ramped up by internet hysteria, the company is due some serious corrections. The Remington RP9 9mm pistol has been harshly questioned and criticized ever since it hit the market, often by people who have never touched one. Some trusted sources who had tried the gun were actually giving it solid rave reviews. Just as many or more trusted sources were butchering it in their evaluations, showing the guns failing over and over. There are two main reasons behind its lack of success. One, it is highly unreliable. Rounds would become trapped in a specific area at the edge of the feed ramp, resulting in frequent jams of the gun. And two, it suffers from abysmal ergonomics. Every time you pull the trigger, it feels like you're being slapped by this handgun. However, having the gun in your hand, shooting it for the first time, you may shoot slightly left on the first few shots, but with practice, these straighten out once you get a feel for the gun. It can be mentioned at this point that Remington got the message from other gun manufacturers. The trigger on the gun, while having a different feel from my other guns, offers some take-up, still had a crisp trigger pull that allowed fast center mass shooting on the steel silhouette. Number 13. The Sessi CPX2, $250. The Sessi CPX2 is not designed to be the nicest firearm on the market, but it is designed to be one of the most affordable. Sessi's goal is to arm as many Americans as possible, not to come out with the best gun that ever existed. They don't claim the gun is something that it's not. The Sessi CPX2 is a very lightweight gun, coming in at around 1 pound unloaded. The gun holds 10 rounds and it's fairly large. It's similar in size to the Taurus G2C, but it's a lot lighter and doesn't have the same feel. This is definitely not a duty or a range gun. They seem to be marketing this gun towards the concealed carry and self-defense crowd. This gun is not a gun you'd want to take to the range to shoot for fun. The grip on the Sessi CPX2 doesn't feel the best in the hand, but it doesn't feel bad either. There's a couple of things one may want to change to make it more ergonomic, one of those being the finger grooves. For an average hand, the finger grooves actually work really well and they help keep the gun in place and make up for some other deficiencies. But if you have larger or smaller hands, the finger grooves are likely going to be a hindrance. That really turns you off from the firearm. The Sessi CPX2 does not have any kind of external safety. The Sessi CPX1 is a version of this pistol that does have a thumb safety. Not many suggest getting that version because it's very uncomfortable to shoot. That's due to some ergonomic features of the safety. Shooting the Sessi CPX2, it's somewhat what you probably expect. It wants to jump around a lot on your hand due to the lack of texture, and the gun only weighs 16 ounces unloaded. And the double action trigger is not that fun to deal with if you're a newer shooter. Also, this gun has a lot of recoil, and if you're a newer shooter, it's going to be a lot to handle. Number 12. Remington R51, $450. The Remington R51 ranks among the most inferior firearms one could possibly acquire. It was truly disheartening to learn that the committee faced a substantial settlement for the Sandy Hook lawsuit and has struggled with bankruptcy in recent years. We sincerely hope that Remington can find a way to overcome these challenges and secure its future. Initially, many had high hopes for the R51, primarily because of its resemblance to a futuristic ray gun designed for enthusiasts. However, if one had to choose between a brand new R51 Gen 2 or a used high-point C9 available for cheaper, they would undoubtedly opt for the C9. The Remington R51 stands as one of the most notorious examples of a gun plagued with malfunctions. It suffers from a wide range of issues, including failures to feed wear bullets, nosedive into the mag and feed wrap, as well as failures to eject, resulting in frequent stove piping. Moreover, the R51 experiences problems with its mag release and slide, often leading to failures to return to battery. To make matters worse, the R51 fails to meet the criteria for a reliable range gun, particularly for individuals with larger hands. Prone to slide by it, but that's not all. Field stripping the R51 for cleaning becomes an arduous task, one that you would likely avoid after the initial experience given the limited use you would have with this firearm. Beyond a couple of boxes of ammunition, the need for cleaning would be minimal unless you plan on selling it. Number 11. Taurus GX4, $300. Taurus hasn't always been synonymous with reliability and high performance, but the company has worked over the years to rectify that by bringing affordable pistols to the masses. And now Taurus waded into the pool further, releasing the teeny tiny GX4. Straight up, the GX4 comes in as an ultra-compact, super concealable, and affordable carry gun, measuring 5.8 inches with a small backstrap and 6.05 inches with a large. The Striker Fire GX4 stands 4.4 inches tall. Weight-wise, you're looking at about 18.5 ounces. Width is really where this pistol shines though. Measuring only 1.08 inches, it packs 11 rounds. It offers up standard white dot sights, nothing fancy here, but that's okay, especially for a budget gun. Ergonomically, it's also just okay. It feels good in the hand, but its diminutive size is both a good and bad thing. As far as controls are concerned, everything is more or less where you expect it, all within reach and easy to manipulate. The mag release may be a tad too shallow for your liking, but it's billed as a carry gun, and carry guns typically carry smaller controls. Now, as far as aesthetics, she ain't winning any beauty contests. The finish is nice and all, but she's not a looker. However, the Taurus GX4 has its cons too. The grip comes a bit short in length. Would have been nicer had they offered a pinky extender mag. Also, for bigger-handed folks, you will need to adjust your grip because this gun is small. Number 10. Smith & Wesson CSX, $550. Smith & Wesson has recently released a brand new handgun that is a departure from what they and most of the market have been playing with for the last couple of years with the CSX. A lot of speculation was discussed on the internet about what this gun really was. This gun has an aluminum frame, a single action only trigger, and it holds both 10 and 12 round mags. By the specs, the only thing unusual is the combination of all the features. An aluminum frame combined with a micro-sized pistol that features 10 and 12 round capacity is a little bit unusual, especially with a single action only trigger. Striker-fired guns have been the rage for years, so it's kind of surprising that Smith & Wesson didn't stick with that pattern. The magwell on the Smith & Wesson CSX has a slight bevel around the edges. There's no flare to speak of, so there's nothing in the design that will aid you in getting the mag in faster. The trigger on the Smith & Wesson CSX is a single action only trigger. This is a hinge-style trigger and it actually feels like such when firing the gun. It does have a little bit of that 1911 style feel due to the shape itself of the trigger shoe, but it's probably more of a hybrid trigger. When you disengage the safety, you're going to feel just a slight bit of take-up as you disengage the trigger safety mounted on the front. Once you disengage that, you're going to hit a wall. At that wall, you're going to feel just a little bit of creep before you feel a relatively clean but heavy break. Then the trigger resets. The reset itself is absolutely horrible. It's very short, but you're not going to feel any notable reset on this gun. And because of that, one may never shoot this gun to reset. It's not bad, but it's definitely not a great single-action trigger. When you go to load the 10-round mag into the gun, it's very hard to load that 10th round into the mag. You also can't seat the mag due to the mag itself swelling from the spring and follower not being installed correctly. That just seems like a complete oversight on Smith & Wesson's part. Number 9. Shadow System CR920, $800. Shadow Systems, based in Plano, Texas, is a designer and manufacturer of high-quality firearms and gun parts. Their MR920 is a remarkable piece of hardware, essentially a superior version of the Glock 19, but their CR920, which is supposedly an upgraded Glock 43X, turns out to be a huge failure. The CR920 boasts front and rear slide serrations, a 3-inch barrel, and a mag capacity of either 10 or 12 rounds. It comes optics ready straight out of the box and features an aesthetically pleasing design, unlike the unremarkable appearance of the Glock 43X. Furthermore, the CR920's texture and grip angle have gone through praise from users. It feels comfortable and secure in the hands, again because it's supposed to be an improved version of the Glock 43X. Its release at SHOT Show 2022 generated excitement among enthusiasts. However, despite its touted advantages, the CR920 has become Shadow Systems' worst pistol due to its reliability and feeding issues. Numerous dissatisfied owners have shared experiences online, primarily revolving around reliability problems. Some users have also complained about the barrel's finish chipping. 6 months after its release, Shadow Systems issued a statement claiming that all reliability and feeding issues associated with the CR920 have been resolved. They specified that the problems were isolated to early production CR920 barrels, which included a machine feature referred to as the bud. If your preference is for a no-frills micro-compact pistol with a 10-round mag capacity that is optics ready out of the box, it would be advisable to choose the Glock 43X MOS instead. Number 8. Sig P210 Carry, $1,400. If you have a preference for all-steel pistols, a single glance at the Sig P210 will make your heart skip a beat. But if not, then the Sig P210 Carry will still look weird. When Sig first introduced it, members of the firearms community raised a question: what's the point in this carry version? The full-size Sig P210 is renowned for its exceptional accuracy and craftsmanship, but it is an older design that doesn't accommodate high-capacity double-stack mags. Today's concealed carry handguns market is dominated by high-capacity micro-compacts like the Sig P365 and Springfield Hellcat. This Sig P210 carry just doesn't make sense. Sig enthusiasts purchased a P210 carry anyway, and soon after, reports from owners began to emerge on Sig's message boards, highlighting issues with a pistol failing to return to battery. Owners who experience this malfunction note that it occurs only when attempting to hand cycle the slide while it is locked on an empty mag. Some owners found a solution by gently pushing the slide forward, while others resorted to alternative methods such as using a mallet to tap the slide forward. Undoubtedly, the P210 carry boasts incredibly tight tolerances, characteristics of high-quality production firearms primarily designed for accuracy, but it doesn't change the fact that it carries a notably high MSRP, somewhere north of $1,500. If you want an expensive production pistol, the FN 509 midsize, with an MSRP of $754, is a much better option. Number 7. Angst Arms MD-P9, $3,000. This is a 9mm pistol and it uses Glock mags. It's one of the most anticipated guns of last year, and so many gun enthusiasts have been waiting for it for quite a few years. The reason why is that it uses a roller delayed system, and not only does it do that, but it has AR-15 style controls. So it's like taking the MP5, which is probably the best system used for PCCs, the most reliable, the most time-tested, the most sought after because of its low recoil and reliability, and you put in an AR-15 system, making it more ergonomic. You don't have to worry about the bad trigger, the weird safety, and the things like that. You also get a lockback on the mags if you can get through a mag, and you get a lot of the other features as well. The MD-P9 does a great job doing exactly what a roller-delayed blowback action was designed to do, and somehow it does it with much less mass to the bolt than most other actions of this type. The entire pistol weighs only 3.7 pounds, about a pound lighter than most of its competition. The whole point of the MD-P9 is to create a modern roller-delayed subgun. A big part of that modernity is easy user customization. However, what you also get with the MD-P9 is you get to pay essentially $3,000 to have for malfunctions, so the only advice is to be ready for it. Number 6. Springfield Prodigy 1911, $1,500. Springfield Armory has been producing 1911s for a long time now, and I would say that they have been doing it very well. Springfield came out of the gate with a giant left hook that no one saw coming, the Springfield Prodigy, a true first of its kind to the Springfield Armory lineup, a double-stacked 9mm 1911. It has sharp aesthetics and a comfortable feel. It also has very smooth and fun shooting firearm. The trigger on the Prodigy is fantastic. Springfield nailed it with this trigger. It ties the firearm together nicely and helps in its seductive James Bond vibe. Springfield has this trigger right square in the middle and it works very well. The downside of the Springfield Prodigy is that it proved very unreliable. Tons of people complained of reliability issues. That is even forgivable if you couldn't get other guns in that price point, but the Bull Armory comes in at around that price point and they function better. If you're looking for a 9mm 1911, you want that speed and you want that accuracy, I would check out Staccato. If you're looking for a malfunction clearance drill wrapped up in a $1,500 package, check out the Springfield Prodigy. Number 5. Fight Light Raider, $450. The Fight Light, formerly Aris Defense Sport Configurable Rifle Raider, is a great pistol that will provide a lifetime of accurate shooting for all enthusiasts in all 50 states. The SER Raider pistol features an MAIL STD Picatinny rail and accepts most AR-15 upper receivers and parts for an endless option of various configurations. The SER Raider pistol assembly follows the use of AR-15 uppers of various calibers for sporting applications without the pain of having multiple rifle platforms. The Fight Light SER Raider is constructed of high-quality aircraft-grade alloys and features a mil-spec black hardcoat anodized finish. The Fight Light SER Raider pistol assembly accepts most AR-style mags. Fight Light's SER rifles and pistols basically use a hybrid AR-15 shotgun recoil system. A chopped-off AR bolt carrier is attached to a pivoting tail, which travels down and into the stock, compressing the recoil spring. A semi-auto AR-style design, it has a Raptor grip and looks very cool. However, there are issues with this gun. Same problem over and over again, failure to extract that one may expect based on the fact that it's a very unique design that uses a bolt with a little like rat tail on the end that slides inside the Raptor grip. It's a system that the ARs wasn't designed for, and because of that, it causes some issues. The other problem probably has to do with R&D, manufacturing, quality, and stuff like that, but a lot of it is the fact that they even put a 7-inch barrel in a DI system, and it just simply doesn't have the dwell time in order to work correctly like a lot of the other ARs that are below 10.5 inches. So it is what it is. It's a very cool looking gun, gives you a fun shooting experience, but can be rather super unreliable too. Number 4. Car CW380, $350. A 13.9-ounce fully loaded CW380 is the heaviest gun some people can comfortably carry. It fires a little bullet. The 380 ACP round coming out of the Car snout is positively dainty, especially when compared to its larger caliber cousins. If you're discounting the Car Arms CW380 as a pocket gun because you have more faith in a 9mm bullet's ability to stop a deadly threat, I recommend a compact rather than a subcompact 9mm. The CW380 or a larger 9mm pistol offers you the best chance of initial accuracy and on-target follow-up shots. The Car CW380 is a minute of bad guy all day long, well, for 7 rounds. If this or another 380 is the easiest, maybe even only way to carry on, carry on. The CW380's textured polymer grip stippling is no more aggressive than a slightly peeved Schnauzer, but secures the firearm like a locked kennel. The CW380's trigger is Riverstone smooth and gently carved. The biggest problem with this gun is that for many, it just doesn't work. His gun had light primer strikes, failure to feed, and other common irritating malfunctions that could be cleared, but also takes a lot of time if you consider the limited mag capacity. It's also a bit of an issue when you're consistently clearing malfunctions and you only have 7 to 10 rounds to play with in the first place. The Car CW380 goes down in history as one of many's least favorite pistols to shoot, but it also happens to be one of the least reliable guns. Chiappa Rhino, $1,000. The Chiappa Rhino takes revolvers and turns them on their head. Typical revolvers align the barrel with the top chamber of the cylinder. Chiappa designed the Rhino to align the barrel with the bottom cylinder. With the bore more in line with the wrist, it sends recoil rearward instead of upward. This helps control the forces from heavier rounds like the .357 Magnum. That's not where the Space Cowboy ends though. Chiappa added a bottom rail to the gun for lights, and on models with 6-inch barrels there is an optics rail on top for adding a red dot or optic of choice. An optically enhanced revolver with a light looks like it fit in the holster of a Marshall on a moon colony. The Rhino gets even weirder as the hammer at the top isn't a hammer but a cocking device. You can cock the weapon into the single action mode with it, but it rests forward. A red plunger is there to show you that it's cocked. It is an oddball gun for sure, but a fun one nonetheless. Ruger LCR, $800. The Ruger LCR is the Glock of revolvers, and I mean that in more ways than one. Obviously, the first comparison is the polymer frame and portions of the gun, but it runs deeper than that. Ruger has made a simple, functional, and easy-to-use revolver. It is chambered in a multitude of calibers, including .38 Special, .357, 9mm, 22 MWR, 22 LR, and even a .327 Federal Magnum. Shooters can opt for a shrouded hammer or the LCR-X model with an exposed hammer. The gun also comes in at an affordable price point and can be commonly found for less than $500. Their popularity makes it easy to find good holsters, which goes a long way when it comes to concealed carry. Did I mention it has the best stock double-action trigger I've ever used? Holy crap, is Ruger's friction-reducing design effective. It's a great trigger that makes shooting the little gun a heck of a lot easier. The small size and lightweight make it easy to tuck away and hide, and it's comfortable regardless of the carry method. The LCR might not be fancy with a classic design, but it's a workhorse of a revolver. Ruger Super Red Hawk 454 Castle, $950. There are a lot of good hunting revolvers out there, but the Super Red Hawk and 454 Castle finds the right blend of power, smart design, and modernization to make it one of the best. While people love the 460 S&W and 500 S&W, they are kinda silly and not much better than the 454 Castle for handgun hunting. With the Super Red Hawk, we get a variety of lengths from the downright flashbang worthy 2.5 inches to the nice 9.5 inch option. To me, the 5 or 7.5 inch is just perfect balance-wise. The Super Red Hawk is a traditional DA SA revolver with Ruger's massive, beefy frame. Double action makes the gun easier to use with a single hand, and this is an important feature for things like unexpected bear defense. It's a large, robust gun designed to absorb the recoil from big, heavy cartridges. It's not absurdly large like an X-Frame 500 S&W, but it's not airweight. Integrated scope bases make adding optics easy, and in my experience, these guns are very accurate and, for Magnum caliber guns, fairly easy to shoot and handle. Another bonus of 454 Castle is the ability to chamber the lighter 45 Colt loads. That also holds 6 rounds versus the 5 of some larger calibers, and when you put it all together, the Super Red Hawk is an excellent hunting revolver. Number 8. Taurus 856 Executive Grade, $560. Taurus is known for its very budget-friendly guns, but also for some QC issues in the past. They have a few big moves and have retooled with experienced personnel, which seems to be showing with the 856 Executive Grade. But still, I approached the gun with caution, thinking, sure, it's pretty, but does it work? It turns out it works pretty dang well. The 856 Executive Grade isn't Taurus's cheapest revolver, but it's a bargain when you examine the gun's performance. It's surprisingly easy to shoot with an excellent trigger. While designed for concealed carry, it isn't your typical snub nose. The 3-inch barrel makes the gun much easier to shoot, tames the muzzle blast, and adds a little extra velocity and sight radius. Although the hammer is bobbed, the double-action trigger is so smooth that you'll barely miss a single-action option. A nice set of Altamont wood grips fills the hand and makes it easy to get control of the gun. Number 3. Taurus PT-22, $210. The PT-22 is a .22 LR semi-auto pistol produced by Taurus and features an 8+1 round capacity mag. The PT-22 is often viewed as a Taurus copy of the Beretta 21 Bobcat due to having a similar tip-up barrel. In fact, this small pistol is very different in design and function from the Beretta. The PT-22 may have either a cast aluminum or polymer frame and a steel slide. However, the Taurus PT-22 is not only unreliable in practice, but it's unreliable in every standard that you can measure it in. In testing, it fell apart multiple times while shooting it. The mag fell apart, the barrel system flew out of the gun while being reloaded. On top of that, it had a whole lot of double feeds light primer. Number 2. Braverman Stinger Pen Gun, $270. The Braverman design pen pistol is a neat concept. However, it's not practical and more of a range toy. Sure, some people let their imaginations run wild that it could be a clandestine type weapon, but it's not as fast as a true NFA AOW pen gun, and even those are dubious to their efficacy at delivering a lethal shot. This is pretty much a range toy just like the life card. Braverman did this by designing a gun which had to be folded into a vaguely gun-like shape before it could be fired, thus negating its disguised look. The gun was called the Stinger and was sold in the 1990s in several calibers. While it was legally simply a handgun, the Stinger was pretty limited in its capabilities. It was a single-shot device and rather laborious to reload. It also featured an automatically engaged safety and no sights. Still, if you wanted a gun that looked like a pen or perhaps like a tire pressure gauge, the Stinger was definitely your easiest solution. The gun is a pretty cool gun and straight out of James Bond's spy film, but it does not do its actual objective all that well. It hides as a pen, super great, but it turns into a gun it's pretty hard to shoot. Number 1. Alter 9mm single shot, $120. At first glance, the Alter 9mm resembles an air compressor, garden hose nozzle, glue gun, or maybe even a small hair dryer. But it doesn't look like a typical pistol aside from the fact it's roughly shaped like one. If you need a follow-up shot with this gun, well, you're screwed. In an ideal situation, you can probably fire 4 rounds per minute, slightly better than reloading during the Civil War. In a defensive situation, you won't have that kind of time, and unlike a typical service pistol or revolver, you don't have enough mass in the gun to properly beat someone about the face and neck with it. And that's it for this video, folks. We'll see you next time at the next one.